Okay, let's look at our scale factors. This time we're going to look at them in length, area and volume. So if we've got this prism here and this prism here, it's called a prism because it's 3 dimensions. When we've been looking at it before, we've looked at just the length. So that's 2 and that's 3. And so that's in what we call 1 dimension. Okay, so 1 dimension, it's here. When we've looked at our scale ratio, we've looked at this. So if I put an L for length, it was 2 to 3. So 2 to 3. And our scale factor when we looked at that was 3 over 2, which equaled 1.5. So that was our scale factor. Okay, so that was fine. But if we wanted to look at the area, okay, hasn't got the dimensions on it now, but if we think about area is all this covered in, and the units for area is like centimetre squared or what do you call it, meters squared, whatever. So we're looking at that. That's in what we call 2 dimensions. Okay, so if we look at this as 2 dimensions, and I do this, so if I think about area, okay, so that was our 2, but that's squared because it's got our 2 dimensions and 3 squared. So our ratio becomes 4 to 9. So that becomes 9 over 4. Okay, so that's, what's that? That is 2 1/4. So 2.25. So what we've got is we've got an actual different ratio. So for our length ratio, we had it 1.5, or our scale factor was 1.5, sorry. For area, our scale factor is 2.25. So it's actually quite different. So then we go up to the next step, which is volume. So it's the whole volume. So if we think of volume, volume is measured in centimetres cubed, metres cubed, things like that. So this is where we get this. So it's in 3 dimensions. So we're following the same pattern. And so no room over there, so I'll put it over here. So our volume will be 2 to 3, but that was cubed and cubed. So 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. 3 cubed is 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. So this time, our scale factor is going to be 27 over 8. So that's a bit, I'm not sure what's that. That's ends up being 3 and 24, 25 and 3/4, so 3.75. So we had a scale factor for length, which is 1 dimension of 1.5. The scale factor in 2 dimensions, area, was 2.25. And our scale factor in volume was 3.75. So we've got different scale factors depending on our whether it was length, area or volume. So, having a look at these questions here, this is quite straightforward because we've got 2 similar triangles. We know they're similar because our angles are the same. We've got 1, 2, so we've got our ratio, and if we look at our ratio over here, so we've got 1, we've got 2, so our ratio in length is going to be is 1 to 2, so that becomes 2 over 1. Okay, so now our area ratio is going to be 1 squared to 2 squared, which is 1 to 4, so it's going to be 4 over 1. So our area is actually, our scale factor is 4. So if we think about this, our scale factor is now 4. This was 2, so that was times 2. But now we've got to look at this one here. When we do that to there, what's our scale factor? our scale factor is 4, so it's actually times 4. So 4 times 4, so our area becomes 16 centimetres squared, because 4 times 4. Okay, so you should be able to work out all the others following the same sort of pattern, but you've got to remember this is area squared. So area, we look at one for volume, so if we look at this one here, actually I might do this one, it's a bit trickier. Okay, so if we look at our, so I'm going to do this one here, we've got our linear, oops, sorry I wrote that out. So we've got our linear, our linear things here and here. So linear, we've got it 2 to 3, which equals 3 over 2. So our ratio was 1.5. So now if we're going to volume, this time it's 2 cubed to 3 cubed, which is going to equal 27, because 3 times 3 times 3 over 8. And that was, what did we work out before? 3 and 3.75. So now I know my scale factor is 3.75. So I've got this one, and I've got to go to there. I'm going to a smaller one. So I've started off big and going to the smaller one. So I've got to divide by 3.75. So my volume is going to equal 27 divided by 3.75. Hang on. Two cubed is 8. Oh, there you go. So my volume, that's interesting. So my volume's going to be 8 metres cubed. There you go. So you should be able to do the other ones. Make sure if it's asked for area, so if it's asking for area, it's squared. If you're asking for volume, it's cubed. Okay, there you go.